Back to what we were talking about, part two, if anyone's paying attention. So we're back at the Jeep here. Let's go ahead and change camera view. And if you notice, his dial is shaking a bit. That might mean something. There's Freon in there. But his system might be struggling because, yeah, see, the line's not cold. It's cool but not cold. So he probably has a slight restriction somewhere, which either the compressor's probably going bad or the condenser's plugged up. One of the two. Because his fan is working great. You can hear the fan speed. Fan speed is working great. Also, it could be something as, let me open up this box here. Expansion valve. Let's walk into the shade. So his Jeep has an expansion valve. There's a little spring in there, and that spring opens and closes with the pressure of the vehicle. And sometimes they can get jammed and either stay stuck closed, stuck open, halfway, or just anywhere, you know. Kind of plays like the thermostat to a radiator. Same kind of springs, pressure, heat, and it can get jammed, closed, and your car overheats. So that's what this expansion valve does. Now, not every vehicle has this. That Jeep does. A lot of new cars do this now. But in my 2002 S10 here, Sonoma S10, it actually has this instead of that expansion valve, which is called an orifice tube. It's an inline filter, and they can get plugged up. Also, again, it minimizes and makes more pressure come through the system, making it do what it does, and filters the Freon as it goes through. It needs to be checked. It needs to be checked every so often. Like every so many years, I would change this filter, because this is like a pull filter. It has a bag of sand or something in it like that to filter the humidity out and stuff like that. So it's a good idea to replace this and this at the same time. And of course, you'd have to look it up. You're going to have to put oil and stuff like that in the new one, but nothing I can tell you like that today. But just a little bit on how this system works differently than the system with this expansion valve. So maybe he needs to change either his expansion valve or the condenser, which I would recommend to go ahead and just do both. Go ahead, open that up. Let's show people where your expansion valve is. We'll go back over here for a moment. Let's decline that for a bit. And while he's doing that, it's overheating and it's probably going to shut off again. So yes, I mean, next step after checking the Freon, I recommend to do like a visual look around. Check the compressor, check to see if you see any leaks around the hoses, your Schrader valves. Sometimes dirt gathers around the area to give you a good indication that something is leaking. So let's start here, because I have something leaking, and I want you to see it. And it's not here, because you would see some kind of buildup here. It's not here, because you would see some kind of buildup here. But the compressor, now I know you see a little bit here on top, but if you look towards the bottom, which I know is probably hard to see, but I am leaking in the middle of the belly here, and it's all down here, and it's all leaking. So that compressor needs to be changed. Now, a vehicle like this one, from what I was doing some reading on, is all this front end is aluminum. So in time, heat causes the aluminum to warp. So this starts shimmying and shaking as you drive your vehicle, and shimmying and shaking is not good for any kind of pressurized anything. And this is such a weak spot that every compressor leaks from here on these vehicles. They actually used to be known as the belly leakers, because every single one leaks all the time. So look around the compressor for any signs of oil or dirt buildup, which you see that. These can indicate a leak. Also check the pulley and belt for wear and damage. Check your pulleys, check your belts. You don't want to leave you stranded as well either. The AC, and some AC systems have several hoses that carry refrigerant between various components. So, you kind of have to look everywhere. This system is kind of simple. We have this hose, and then we have a few lines, and the evaporator's just right here. May still be a pain to take out, but nowhere near today's cars, like maybe this guy's. If his was over leaking, you'd be taking out the whole dashboard to handle that job, and that can get costly. So sometimes I'm always looking at certain vehicles, looking them up to see if I want to own it or not. So okay, so like on this guy's car, his expansion valve's right there on the firewall. So some of these parts are easy to replace, and again, that's the stuff I look up when I want to buy a vehicle, something that I want to replace. Do I, and it's not just that, it's all kinds of stuff. Do I want a CVT transmission? Probably not. But that's what everything's going these days. So, keep your engine clean, help spot leaks early, wipe away any dirt or grime from any AC components regularly, because newer cars these days tend to have a lot more leaks and problems compared to like this 2002. So, common AC issues. If the AC is blowing warm air, check the refrigerant levels. Cabin air filter. Now, my truck doesn't have a cabin air filter, but in most vehicles, like this one here, is going to have one behind the glove box there. So, check that out. You have to look it up online and see if your car is equipped with one, because some vehicles are different. A 2001 Tahoe may have a cabin air filter, but a 2003, they did away with it. So that's kind of weird too. Everything's different, so just got to look. If you have a foul smell in the AC vents, mold and mildew, a common cause of bad smells and mold and mildew in the AC system, it's the evaporator. So it gets cold, it sweats, it attracts dirt and stuff, just like your tires do, or the body of the vehicle after you armor all the tires. After armor-alling the tires and you go taking off, you're throwing all that armor all that's wet on the body of the vehicle. So exactly what happens inside of here, that wetness stays in there, and it's it stays wet, windows are up, it's hot outside, and this doesn't air out. So the best thing to do when you of course not going to pay to have it replaced or anything, is I use a brand, and it's not from O'Reilly's, because O'Reilly stuff is just watered down. It's just an air freshener. Don't recommend. But the brand Total Release is some pretty good stuff. It's potent. Here's another one. Spray away. And these are alcohol based, so there's alcohol and fragrance, but the alcohol dries out what it can inside the car, the evaporator, and leaves a fresh scent. But something like that, you got to let your car run with the AC on for about 40 minutes. It's like a bomb. And then close the windows, put the air on max, and let it run for about 20 or 30 minutes, and let all that recycle inside the car, and it'll get rid of that mildew smell in no time. Now, if your AC system's not turning on, things to check for. First thing I check is this bad boy. Does it spin? If it's locked and doesn't spin, the compressor's no good. No ifs, ands, or buts. Sorry, my phone is overheating. And it's a bummer. So, AC fuses. Locate underneath your hood always. It'll say somewhere, this one says AC right there, but that's the relay. Easy to find the relay. The AC on this one is somewhere right here next to that relay. So it'd be right there on this vehicle. Take those out, maybe switch these two relays and see if that 10 is any good. If it's not, replace them. If it doesn't turn on, a lot of times in cars today, this is your coil, or a lot of cars there's a sensor. And the sensor goes bad in these compressors, and therefore you have to replace the compressor. Like in Hyundais today. Compressors most likely are good. These are expensive. But see, this plug-in for this one is this thing. You can buy this on Amazon for like 25, 35, 40 bucks. Replace this, put the compressor back, and you're good to go. It is a common issue. common issue on Hyundais and Kias. And remember, if you ever need to make your car smell good, it's Total Release. It really works. Look it up online. You can buy them. Now, if your car is overheating, running a little bit hotter, again, check the fans. Make sure both your fans, if you have fans turning on, make sure both of them underneath the hood are working. Also, check your coolant. Make sure the radiator's full. Okay? Keep up with the visual inspections and maintenance tips we've covered today. Regular checks of the refrigerant levels, compressor, hoses, fans, and filters will help keep your AC running smoothly. Clean the condenser. Yeah, clean those coils out. When you go for a car wash, it's not enough. That little bit of drop of water that they put on there is not enough. You need to get the high pressure washer. Everybody thinks this is not your radiator. The radiator is not the first thing you see. That is the condenser. That's what cools your compressor liquid to go back and do its job again as you're driving faster and faster. The cleaner the better, the colder the air. So my phone is overheating, so I might have to be shutting down here. This is fun today, but another thing you cannot just do is, a lot of people say, well, I need a new compressor. Okay, can you get me one? Sure. What about the other stuff that go with it? You cannot just replace a compressor in cars these days. They will not work. Today, cars come with a kit. You need to buy what I showed you earlier. That expansion valve comes in a kit along with a dryer. A lot of times that dryer's on the condenser made already, so it comes with it. But yeah, you cannot just replace a compressor, because one of these items may have had the compressor fail because it's not doing its job. And if you go and buy just the compressor at O'Reilly's or AutoZone or any place like that, they will not give you a warranty because you didn't buy the kit as well. So remember that. Always replace everything. So yes, I want to thank everybody for watching today. My phone just is overheating and it's not giving me enough power to do more than I wanted to do more today. I saw there were like up to 5-6 people watching at once. But if there's any questions, please, you can lay them on here. I will definitely get back to you. And everybody have a good day and keep cold. Peace.